Hello, welcome to day of reading through the Bible. I'm Toni Henderson-Mayers. I'll be your reader. I'm known as an actor, a director, producer, professor, but most important, I'm a child of God. And I'm also known as an entrepreneur too, as well. If you want to know more about me, join my Toni Henderson-Mayers YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and ring the notification bell for that channel and this one so you'll know every time I upload a new video. So, you ready to read God's word? Let's go. Okay, we're going to read Ezekiel 5 through 8. Let's read it. Remember, if you like these readers, you can get it at the link that I'm going to provide at the bottom. All righty. Chapter 5, God's razor of judgment. Now, son of man, take a sharp sword and use it as a barber's razor to shave your head and your beard. Then take a set of scales and divide up the hair. When the days of your siege come to an end, burn a third of the hair inside the city. Take a third and strike it with a sword all around the city, and scatter a third to the wind, for I will pursue them with drawn sword. But take a few hairs and tuck them away in the folds of your garment. Again, take a few of these and throw them into the fire and burn them up. A fire will spread from there to all Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. This is Jerusalem, which I have set in the center of the nations, with countries all around her. Yet in her wickedness, she has rebelled against my laws and decrees more than the nations and countries around her. She has rejected my laws and has not followed my decrees. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You have been more unruly than the nations around you and have not followed my decrees or kept my laws. You have not even conformed to the standards of the nations around you. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I myself am against you, Jerusalem, and I will inflict punishment on you in the sight of the nations. Because of all your detestable idols, I will do to you what I have never done before and will never do again. Therefore, in your midst, parents will eat their children, and children will eat their parents. I will inflict punishment on you and will scatter all your survivors to the wind. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, because you have defiled my sanctuary with all your vile images and detestable practices, I myself will shave you. I will not look on you with pity or spare you. A third of your people will die of the plague or perish by famine inside you. A third will fall by the sword outside your walls, and a third I will scatter to the wind and pursue with drawn sword. Then my anger will cease, and my wrath against them will subside, and I will be avenged. And when I have spent my wrath on them, they will know that I am the Lord, that I, the Lord, have spoken in my zeal. I will make you a ruin and a reproach among the nations around you. In the sight of all who pass by, you will be a reproach and a taunt, a warning and an object of horror to the nations around you when I inflict punishment on you in anger and in wrath with stinging rebuke. I, the Lord, have spoken. When I shoot at you with my deadly and destructive arrows of famine, I will shoot to destroy you. I will bring more and more famine upon you and cut off your supply of food. I will send famine and wild beasts against you, and they will leave you childless. Plague and bloodshed will sweep through you, and I will bring the sword against you. I, the Lord, have spoken. Chapter 6. Doom for the mountains of Israel. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, set your face against the mountains of Israel. Prophesy against them and say, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to the mountains and hills, to the ravines and valleys. I am about to bring a sword against you, and I will destroy your high places. Your altars will be demolished, and your incense altars will be smashed, and I will slay your people in front of your idols. I will lay the dead bodies of the Israelites in front of their idols, and I will scatter your bones around your altars. Wherever you live, the towns will be laid waste and the high places demolished, so that your altars will be laid waste and devastated, your idols smashed and ruined, your incense altars broken down, and what you have made wiped out. Your people will fall slain among you, and you will know that I am the Lord. But I will spare some, for some of you will escape the sword when you are scattered among the land and nations. Then in the nations where they have been carried captive, those who escape will remember me, how I have been grieved by their adulterous hearts, which have turned away from me, and by their eyes, which have lusted after their idols. They will loathe themselves for the evil they have done and for all their detestable practices, and they will know that I am the Lord. I did not threaten in vain to bring this calamity on them. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Strike your hands together and stamp your feet and cry out, alas, because of all the wicked and detestable practices of the people of Israel, for they will fall by the sword, famine, and plague. One who is far away will die of the plague, and one who is near will fall by the sword. And anyone who survives and is spared will die of famine. So will I pour out my wrath on them, and they will know that I am the Lord. When their people lie slain among their idols, around their altars, on every high hill and on all the mountain tops, under every spreading tree and leafy oak, places where they offered fragrant incense to all their idols. And I will stretch out my hand against them and make the land a desolate waste, from the desert to Diblah, wherever they live. Then they will know that I am the Lord. Chapter 7. The end has come. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land of Israel. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. The end is now upon you, and I will unleash my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for all your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will surely repay you for your conduct and for the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says: disaster ahead of disaster, unheard of disaster. See, it comes. The end has come. The end has come. It has roused itself against you. See, it comes. Doom has come upon you who dwell in the land. The time has come. The day is near. There is panic, not joy, on the mountains. I am about to pour out my wrath on you and spend my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for all your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will repay you for your conduct and for the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that it is I, the Lord, who strikes you. See the day? See, it comes. Doom has burst forth. The rod has budded. Arrogance has blossomed. Violence has arisen, a rod to punish the wicked. None of the people will be left, no one of the crowd of that crowd, no one of their wealth, nothing of value. The time has come. The day has arrived. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller grieve. For my wrath is on the whole crowd. The seller will not recover the prosperity that was sold as long as both buyer and seller live. For the vision concerning the whole crowd will not be reversed. Because of their sin, not one of them will preserve their life. They have blown the trumpet, they have made all things ready, but no one will go into battle, for my wrath is on the whole crowd. Outside is the sword, inside are plague and famine. Those in the country will die by the sword. Those in the city will be devoured by famine and plague. The fugitives who escape will flee to the mountains. Like doves of the valleys, they will all moan, each for their own sins. Every hand will go limp. Every leg will be wet with urine. They will pour, they will put on sackcloth and be clothed with terror. Every face will be covered with shame, and every head will be shaved. They will throw their silver into the streets, and their gold will be treated as a thing unclean. Their silver and gold will not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. It will not satisfy their hunger or fill their stomachs, for it has caused them to stumble into sin. They took pride in their beautiful jewelry and used it to make their detestable idols. They made it into vile images. Therefore, I will make it a thing unclean for them. I will give their wealth as plunder to foreigners, and as loot to the wicked of the earth, who will defile it. I will turn my face away from the people, and robbers will desecrate the place I treasure. They will enter it and will defile it. Prepare chains, for the land is full of bloodshed, and the city is full of violence. I will bring the most wicked of nations to take possessions of their houses. I will put an end to the pride of the mighty, and their sanctuaries will be desecrated. When terror comes, they will seek peace in vain. Calamity upon calamity will come, and rumor upon rumor. They will go searching for a vision from the prophet. Priestly instruction in the law will cease. The counsel of the elders will come to an end. The king will mourn, the prince will be clothed with despair, and the hands of the people of the land will tremble. I will deal with them according to their conduct, and by their own standards, I will judge them. Then they will know that I am the Lord. Chapter 8. This is our last chapter reading for today. Idolatry in the temple. In the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day, while I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Judah were sitting before me, the hand of the sovereign Lord came on me there. I looked and I saw a figure like that of a man. From what appeared to be his waist, from what appeared to be his waist down, he was like fire. And from there up, his appearance was as bright as glowing metal. He stretched out what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. The Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven, and in visions of God, he took me to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes to jealousy stood. And there before me was the glory of the God of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the plain. Then he said to me, Son of man, look toward the north. So I looked, and in the entrance north of the gate of the altar, I saw this idol of jealousy. And he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The utterly detestable things the Israelites are doing here? Things that will drive me far from my sanctuary? But you will see things that are even more detestable. Then he brought me to the entrance to the court. I looked, and I saw a hole in the wall. He said to me, Son of man, now dig into the wall. So I dug into the wall and saw a doorway there. And he said to me, Go in and see the wicked and detestable things they are doing here. So I went in and I looked, and I saw portrayed all over the walls all kinds of crawling things and unclean animals and all the idols of Israel. In front of them stood 70 elders of Israel, and Jazaniah, son of Shaphan, was standing among them. Each had a censer in his hand, and a fragrant cloud of incense was rising. He said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of Israel are doing in the darkness, each at the shrine of his own idol? They say, The Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. Again, he said, You will see them doing things that are even more detestable than this. Then he brought me into the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there mourning the god Tammuz. He said to me, Do you see this, son of man? You will see things that are even more detestable than this. He then brought me into the inner court of the house of the Lord, and there at the entrance to the temple, between the portico and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east. They were bowing down to the sun in the east. He said to me, Have you seen this, son of man? Is it a trivial matter for the people of Judah to do the detestable things they are doing here? Must they also fill the land with violence and continually arouse my anger? Look at them putting the branch to their nose. Therefore, I will deal with them in anger. I will not look on them with pity or spare them. Although they shout in my ears, I will not listen to them. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of his holy word. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Well, we're reading from the book of Ezekiel, and we started it on yesterday. So if you want to know a little bit about Ezekiel, make sure you watch the video that we did on yesterday if you missed it. And you can also go back and just review at least the first part of that toward the end of the video to hear more about Ezekiel. But anyway, Ezekiel, once again, this is so interesting how God deals with each prophet differently. And there is a lot of imagery and a lot of showing. And Ezekiel really have seen up to this point, he's one prophet who's really seen like the glory of the Lord and so many things that we hadn't seen before, creatures with four heads and all of this stuff, honey. No other prophet was seeing this, but Ezekiel was seeing this. Evidently, he can handle it, honey. Ezekiel can handle it. But he talked about God's razor of judgment. And boy, this judgment is severe. And you wonder, like, my God, why is it so severe? But as we get toward the end of this reading, we start to see what it is all about. I mean, it is just really the detestable things he talks about is worshiping other idols. And these idols, they can't breathe, they can't see, they can't hear, they don't have any power. But yet, the children of Israel, God's chosen people, were worshiping and praising other idols. He predicted and prophesied doom for the mountains of Israel. Okay, and he had Ezekiel speak to the mountains that prophecy. And then he prophesies about the end coming. Okay. Chapter 7, the word of the Lord came to Ezekiel, son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land of Israel. The end has come. I tell you what, beloveds, that's a prophecy you don't want to get. Okay. Unless it's an end of something grievous, we rejoice off that. This is the end of this. You're not gonna go through this grievous part-time period. That's always good. But the end for you and you are caught in your sin is not good. It's really, really not good. And boy, this has been like so vivid as to what he will do. And he said he's not going to have pity, okay, in this reading, okay, where he's not going to have pity. And you have to prepare yourself. And if you got away, somebody may get famine, somebody may get plague, somebody may get the sword, but it's only a small, small remnant that he may allow to go past. And then he showed the idolatry in the temple of the Lord. You know, idolatry is never good, but to desecrate something that has been set aside for God, it just seemed like it don't seem like it is a no-no. Okay, we're going a little bit too far. And sometimes my friends laugh at me. I think I mentioned this in another video, how I can get I'm not extra holy, y'all. I ain't trying to come across like that. I'm just like you and I'm just trying to do my best. I pray, I do make mistakes, but this one, it's just something about disrespecting the things of God that gets me like, oof. I just, if something is set apart for God, namely his church, places of worship, sometimes articles, I believe if you say that's holy, then that's how you ought to you ought to treat it. And sometimes people will come to church cussing. The one guy came in cussing, honey, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You could curse in front of me on the street, and I'm not gonna flinch or anything. I prefer you don't do it, but I'm not gonna be flinching and carrying on. I'm gonna have a conversation with you. I ain't gonna try to come across like I'm holier than whatever. But when you do it in the church, I'm like, I kind of flinch because I'm like, I just respect the place so much. You know what I'm saying? And these people I mean, they in the temple worshiping idols. Okay, that's not good. And then we see in verse 9 and maybe part of verse 8 too, where I'm sorry, not verse 9, chapter 8. Okay, we see in chapter 8 as we start ending this reading, he takes Ezekiel to different sections, okay, where people are worshiping idols. He was sitting among the elders, okay, and the Lord came to him and he described what he looked like as he came, it appeared, as a figure that came to him, okay? And when the Lord stretched out his hand and the Spirit lifted him up, he took him to the entrance of the north gate in the inner court, okay? Of the inner court. And we have to go back to when these temples were being built, what the outer court was, and the inner court. You start getting into the inner court, honey. You talking about the holies of holies, all right? You start getting closer. But in the inner court, they worshiping other gods. Okay. Then let's see, he gets to another area. Um, I'm trying to find out where the other area is. He brought him to the entrance of the court and he saw a hole in the wall. He had him dig through that hole and there was a doorway there. And in there, that's where he saw other people worshiping God, okay? Doing what he considers a detestable thing, an unclean thing, okay? the elders were 70 elders of Israel. And these are leaders who should know the way, who should know better. But they were there burning incense, okay, for another god. And then he showed some women wailing for another god, the god of Tammuz, okay. They were mourning for that god. Then he went to an inner court of the house of the Lord, and there in the entrance, at the near the between the portico and the altar, y'all, okay, 25 men there, and they were bowing down to the sun in the east, okay. So God was not pleased by this. He was letting Ezekiel know, basically, in essence, this is what's going on. You may not know what's going on, but I see everything. I know everything. And these people, and I think it was in one, maybe the first group, that said, we doing this and God won't see us. Okay. It's one thing to do wrong. It's another thing to do right, but it's quite another thing to fake the funk, as we call it. Well, you are hypocritical. Okay. You come across in front of everybody, that you doing right, but behind closed doors, you are doing wrong. And it's the one thing. I know people have habits, we have problems. There's things that we're trying to get out of. I'm not even talking about when you have those addictions, you're trying your best to dig your way out. But I'm talking about when you know you're doing stuff behind closed doors, and then you come across as you trying to be so holy and putting other people down for what they do. But God sees it all. He sees it all. He knows the heart, see? And sometimes we see people caught in a sin, and we don't know that their heart is that they're really trying to get out of it. They're trying to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? And they're struggling. Sometimes they start off, God help me, and then they stumble and all this stuff. And sometimes it takes a while for them to know that all you really need is God, and you need God's strategy. And when you walk through God's strategy, that's how you make your way out. But anyway, I didn't want to get into all that because we sure read a whole lot. But that is so interesting how God took Ezekiel to different places so could see with his own eyes what was going on, what God already knew was happening. Okay. And I believe it gave Ezekiel, it opened his eyes as to this is what's going on, and this is why it's going on. And there's a lot of house cleaning that we've got to do. I wonder, beloveds, is there anything that we may be doing and putting ahead of God that we've got to clean up in our lives? Not only us, but in our personal homes. What are our children doing? Anybody that's under our auspices? What are our employees are doing? What are our church members doing? Anything that we have control or sphere of, people that we have influence, the people that we're teaching or whatever. We gotta, as they used to say back in the day, get right, church, and let's go home. So visit me on my website, which is www.tonihendersonmayers.com. And boy, what a great reading. Stick with us, guys. We're almost done. I mean, we're like at 200 and something videos. It's, I don't know, 230 something. I'm not even sure. But we are really getting through this word. And before you know it, it will be over. So make sure you know that the word of God is a lamp unto our feet, and it is a light unto our path. We will hide God's word in our hearts that we may not sin against God. Oh, by the way, I don't know if it drops today. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. God willing. Bye. Hey there. Thank you so much for checking out my video. And I want you to check out my website at tonihendersonmayers.com. You can find out about me in film and stage. You can also find out about the wise courtship philosophy and everything that that I do, speaking across the country, and the book that I've written. And of course, you can go on to my online store where you can learn a lot of information about business, get coaching sessions, online courses, and so much more. Not only that, I have an Etsy store which the website of all of these things are in my description. So make sure you go to my Etsy shop, which is called Faith, Hope, and Love Center. Make sure you go to that so you can get t-shirts, and I'm adding things every day, t-shirts, mugs, masks, all types of things, into the link that's going to take you to all of the books that we're using pretty much in our Read Through the Bible series. So here are the journals. This reflection journal is so that you can write and take notes. And this one has a lot of study information and will help you keep organized as you're studying the Bible. This is the Bible that I read from, the NIV Study Bible. Of course, Wise Courtship is here, and some of the other books that I wrote, Yes, God is Real, and also I Rise, Stories of Triumph. It's just a great encouragement tool. So walk on over to the stores and give us some support. I think you're going to be blessed by the products. Take care.